Hey, this is Politics with Laura. I got a good one for you today. Now, I came across this article, actually two. I'm going to sort of combine them. I'm still talking about the Russia-Ukraine and also Canada temporarily legalizing drugs. Now, I touched on this before, but now they get into a little bit deeper details, and I get this from the newspaper out in Zimbabwe. So when you get information from outside of the U.S. and Canada, you have a tendency to get more details than what they give us. Also, I got some really interesting information about the Ukraine and Russia and Belarus. Oh my goodness, just like I thought, there's more to the fighting up here. But like I said in the previous video, we got to look down here. Where's the money going? What's going on? Oh yeah. Let me deal with the Canada situation. It's quite interesting because, okay, Canada to decriminalize cocaine, ecstasy to tackle drug abuse. Now, let me ask you, just out of pure curiosity, in order to tackle a problem, do you give it more? Like if you want to tackle alcoholism, do you give the people more alcohol? That makes no sense. What is the real reason going on? President Trudeau or Prime Minister Trudeau, what are you doing up there? What's going on? Why are you temporarily decriminalizing cocaine and ecstasy? Why those two drugs? If you're going to decriminalize it, why not decriminalize everything? What are you really up to? That's sneaky and suspicious. Just in my 2 cents. And this is what the article says. It says Canada has announced that it will temporarily decriminalize the possession of illegal drugs such as cocaine, ecstasy, and opioids for personal use by adults in British Columbia. What's going on there? In its bid to tackle the burgeoning drug abuse problem in the province, where drug overdoses claimed the lives of more than 2,000 people, the federal minister of mental health and addiction, Caroline Bennett, on Tuesday said Ottawa had granted a provisional government request for an exemption for the Federal Controlled Drugs and Substance Act for 3 years starting January 31st, 2023. That right there is very, very interesting. This is not legislation. We cannot take, we have not taken this decision lightly. So wait a minute, wait. So you're just coming up with something and it's not even legislation. So you're not taking this to the government. You're not taking it to the parliament. You're just coming up with this to battle drug addiction by temporarily decriminalizing drugs. Wait, so on one hand, let me make sure I understand this. It's not legislation. So you're temporarily decriminalizing cocaine, ecstasy, and opioids, but it's not a real legal mandate. What kind of confusion is that? Unless if I just don't get it. What are you really up to? Trudeau, Trudeau, Trudeau. What are you really, really up to? But outside of Trudeau, I came across this article. Russia and Belarus have accomplished more than a third of planned integrating project in Mishustin. Mishustin is somewhere in Belarus, in Minsk, Belarus, the capital. Now, when I saw this, I'm like, what planned integration projects are they talking about? I thought it was interesting. So, in Minsk, June 20th, Interfax, that's where I got this information from. Russia and Belarus have already accomplished more than 1/3 of all projects as a part of the two countries' 28 integration program. The Minsk project, the Minsk expects the number of integration projects to keep growing. More than a third of 983 projects envisaged by these programs has already been accomplished. Priority attention has been given to the creation of a common socioeconomic space, in-depth cooperation in industry, energy, agriculture, the digital economy, and the transportation sector. The Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin said when opening talks about his Belarusian counterpartner Roman Golovenko in Minsk on Monday. Now, I'm out of this entire article. It's not very long. There is a sentence, just one, that is mind-blowing. Here it is. Keep in mind, the Russian-Ukraine war, Belarus is involved. Pressure is probably more than a political word. In actual fact, it is an economic war which has been unleashed against Belarus and Russia. So, they're having this physical war, but there's more so of an economical war to crush Belarus and Russia, for Russia holding the Ukraine accountable for breaking the Warsaw Pact Agreement. I keep on saying Warsaw Pact Agreement, Warsaw Pact Agreement. An agreement is an agreement. Now, if you want to break it, then you're going to have to find some kind of other way to satisfy the other country that you have peace with all this time. But this goes back to another video that I made. This has a lot to do with BRICS. Look at that video. This is interesting. So even though you have all this fighting, they're connecting things and they're doing it economically. All these programs, 983. Interesting. And also, the Russian ruble has gone up. Russia is doing well economically. All the sanctions the United States and NATO put on Russia did not work. It's sort of like, whoop, a little, whoop. Everybody else is falling apart. Germany, all these other countries, European countries, are falling apart. Their energy, their economy. The changing of the guards. Europe is falling. Europe is falling. That's the only way I can put it. On that note, I'll put the articles in the description box. Please like, subscribe. If you think I'm totally wrong, please like, subscribe, and then tell me where I'm wrong. Please cite your sources. On that note, I really appreciate my subscribers. I thank you so much. Passerbys, I thank you. And when you pass by, you could always like or dislike. You can even write something down. Engage. On that note, I want to thank you for stopping by.